Hello and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this show, I won't lie, I really went for just one song, but when I bought the tickets for the show, I decided to really try and listen to this person so that I would know more of the songs once I got there. And that's pretty much exactly what I did, and I think that really made a difference for tonight's show. So let's get into it. So the show was Fink at the City Winery in DC. And getting there was actually not too bad. I left from work because I had sign language club and then a client after school, so I actually didn't think traffic was that bad. It really wasn't, especially for the time of day that I left. So that was really nice. I mean, there was traffic, but it's been worse. So that was awesome. And then I also got to get there early and eat dinner, so that was kind of a nice little afternoon after school treat. Anyway, so let's get into the show itself. So when Fink came out, he started with his newer song, not the newest, but newer. And he said that he had never played it before, so he was like, I'm gonna play some new stuff and I'm gonna play some older stuff, so it's gonna be like a mixed bag of things that are good and things that maybe won't sound so good. So I actually really loved that I got to hear the first time that he played this song live. I thought that was kind of an awesome little treat. It definitely was cool to know that the tour is opening on our night in DC, and then also that this song was basically never played live before, so that's pretty cool. So the set was just acoustic. It was just him playing guitars, and he had a couple guitars that he played on and off. And then he had pedals too, so the pedals were obviously attached to the guitar, so he would sometimes click the pedal and it would make a certain noise or do something like that. So that was definitely another part of the show. So I really loved the opening song, and I'm not gonna lie, when I've listened to it on YouTube, sometimes I really like it, sometimes it's just a little too, I don't know, but I really, really liked seeing it live. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was just, the bridge was so good. The music in the bridge was just unbelievable. So I really, really, really liked that song, and I'm so glad that he played that. And I mean, just watching his fingers was mesmerizing, just how quickly they move. And yeah, so I really, really, really liked that song. And especially to open with, I thought it was really good. And I'm also glad that I listened to it a couple times before, because I was glad that I kind of knew what it was, and so I really liked that. Then he went right into the next song, and it was called Pills. I really loved the lyrics in the first verse. So fantastic. But I'm not sure overall I love the meaning behind the song. I don't know. It's like, I feel like there's a metaphor in there, but then everything becomes very literal, and you're like, oh wait, he's literally talking about things. And so I don't know, it just was weird to me. I didn't really like how it ended. And when I've heard it before, when I was listening to his stuff, I feel like I thought it was an okay song, but for some reason it was just the end of that song was not doing it for me. But I really, really liked the first verse, so that was good. So then for the third song, I actually got the chills. My whole body was just in such awe. It was so fantastic. The guitar had those quick notes that I love, and just varying volumes. So it's you get these quick notes, and you get this, some of them were louder, and then some of them got lower, and then some of them got louder again. It really was just so fantastic and bone chilling. I mean, I got the chills. It was that good, and the lyrics were great, and the music was just fantastic. So I really loved that third song, and I had definitely heard it before, but I didn't realize how much I liked that song until I saw it live, and I definitely am going to go back now and find it again and really listen to it in a whole new way. So I'm really excited about that. So then he played a song that's coming out on his new CD, but then he said that it's not going to come out on the internet. So I don't know if he meant before the CD comes out, or if just he meant overall. Not really sure how that would work if you're releasing it on a CD, which will come out on the internet. But yeah, so it was kind of cool that we got like an exclusive live song that you can only like purchase at the merch table. So that was kind of interesting. It started out like really powerful guitar, like really like loud volume, intense guitar, and his voice took on like a raspy vibe, I guess. And I really love the first two lines. So I thought that was a pretty good song. And I really love the second verse as well. And then the chorus was really like instrument heavy. And I wasn't sure that I loved the line that he kept repeating. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was because it was shill, right? So the lines like right before the chorus starts is all about you. That's the pronoun that is used. And then I really heard for the whole song up until the end, shill. And I was like, why would you go from you to she? It just doesn't make sense. And then realized right at the end, oh wait, he's actually saying you'll. So yeah, so maybe if I had known that going in, I would have liked that song more, but for some reason, thinking that we went from you to she, I was like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm not enjoying like this chorus. It just is killing the song. It's so good. I loved the first few lines. I loved the second verse, and I don't understand what's happening. And then at the end, I was like, oh no, he's actually saying you will. So yeah, so I'm gonna give that song more credit than I think I did initially, just because that was probably on me and not on him. And then he kind of talked about how he hit a wall, but it was a fun wall to hit. And I just like love that concept. I've never really thought that hitting a wall could be like a fun thing to do. I mean, again, you think like, oh yeah, man, I hit a wall and you're just like done and you can't do anymore. So I really liked that he said it was fun, right? Not good, but that it was a fun wall to hit. So I liked that. I thought that was cool. And then he talked about how he invited his therapist to the show in Canada, and he was like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Like, it's so scary. All of my emotions just like in these songs. And so he said, I'm going to play happy songs for the Canada show. And then he was like, wait a minute, I don't have any happy songs. So that was pretty funny. It was really quite funny part. I'm glad that he kind of stopped to talk about it, because I thought that was really cool. And then the next song had like a really, again, that powerful, intense sounding music that was just like loud, and I really liked the lyrics, and I thought it was really impressive because he didn't use the pedals for the first time at all. And again, like to have this really powerful, like strong guitar and then just like these awesome lyrics. So that was really quite impressive. Even though I didn't know the song, I thought that was really, really cool. Then he went right into the next one, and it was definitely like a lighter sound to it. And even though I didn't really find it that grabbing, it was funny because afterwards he was like, wait, that was actually a happy song. He goes, all right, I'll just play that for 90 minutes in Canada. So I thought it was funny that I also like definitely felt it was a lighter song. And then he also, so that was definitely made clear via the music. And again, it just like, it was fine. It just wasn't super grabbing. Then he talked about the favorite line of the next song he was about to play, and I really liked it when he said it out loud, and so I was really looking forward to hearing it in the song. I really loved the instrumental beginning to that song. I thought it was really fantastic, and honestly, it was like so impressive. I don't know how he makes a song sound like two different songs, like with just his hands. It's incredible. And again, he wasn't using the pedals at this point, so the fact that he was able to make like two different like beats with one hand, like just his hands and a guitar, I mean, it really was just incredible. And I mean, I loved it. It was so good, and the music was so good. And again, it was that quick notes, and I really liked the lyrics, especially the line that he had pointed out, and then the lines following it. I thought it was really good. And I definitely heard it before too, so that was definitely a song that I had listened to prior to going to the show. But again, it's just, I mean, watching it live and really just kind of creating two sounds with just a guitar, it was just so utterly impressive. And just the way he moves his hands are just, I mean, it's incredible. And then he sings on top of that, so that's really just, I really liked that song. Had chill moments where I was like, ooh, this is really good, but not as great as that third song. It just really blew me away. So the next song started, and nothing really grabbed me. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just like, okay, there's music and there's lyrics and it's fine and it's, you know, entertaining, but it's nothing that really like stuck out to me like some other songs had. So then after that, he talked about the next two songs, and he talked about how the next song was actually on The Walking Dead, and then he told us that he doesn't watch it anymore, and I still watch The Walking Dead, so I was like, oh man. But now I definitely kind of want to know what episode it was on and maybe go back and be like, oh yeah, that is on it. But anyway, the song was called Warm Shadow, and again, just like that quick guitar, and I loved the guitar during the chorus. I thought the guitar during the chorus was the best part, and this is the song where he used the pedals again, so this is where the pedals kind of came back into play. But yeah, really loved the guitar during the chorus. I thought it was really great. And so for the next song, honestly, he could have not had lyrics and I would have been blown away. So I loved the guitar, like right off the bat. Immediately the first two notes, I was like, yep, this guitar is awesome. Don't even need lyrics. Really hard to focus on the lyrics. Not sure I caught all of them, but I think they were good. They were okay, but definitely could have just listened to the guitar. It was so good. I really loved the beginning of it, especially just like that like initial before the lyrics take over. It was so good. I mean, and even in the middle of the song and towards the end, the guitar was still good. So yeah, I really liked the guitar in that next song. It was so fantastic. And then he said, oh, this is going well. And then he knocked out wood and he was like, oh, why did I do that? Like, I shouldn't have done that. So that was like cute. Again, like just like a fun little part of the show. Like a cute little thing to say. So then he told us that the next song was about hipsters and how one time he was on a metro and they made fun of him for reading a book. So that was it had some good build up from the first verse to the second verse. The first verse definitely had like a lower intensity and a lower volume, and then it's like the second verse just kind of comes in and hits you. So that was pretty good. I liked that. I thought that was interesting. This song, in my opinion, was definitely more like lyrically oriented. There was a lot to do with the lyrics, and it wasn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of music behind the lyrics, but the lyrics were very dominant in that song. So I thought that was interesting. Definitely just like a different type of song, because most of his other songs are very musically oriented, or instrumental oriented. It's a lot of guitar, and then the lyrics kind of just like are there as part of it. But this song was definitely lyric heavy, so I thought that was interesting. And again, it was good. Didn't really necessarily grab me in any specific way, but it was a good song. And then after that, it was funny because he kind of switched between two guitars, and then towards the end of the set, at this point in the set, he talked about this third guitar that was on the stage, but he hadn't really touched yet. And I really liked hearing about the guitar. He said that it was old, and it was like his 2006 guitar that he borrowed from his dad, and clearly the dad's not getting it back, and that he still plays these songs with this guitar because that's like how he wrote the songs with that guitar, so they don't sound as good without the guitar. So I don't know, that was definitely interesting. And it's funny because you can definitely hear the difference between that guitar and the other guitars. So I thought that it was cool that he was like aware of the fact that in order for him to play these next songs, he really felt like he needed that guitar, otherwise it wouldn't sound as good. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that he really like took time to consider his craft and how it would sound best for his fans. So the song that he played was This Is the Thing, and he talked about his grandma and how she used to say that all the time, so that was really cute. And he also talked about how it was an ad on a plane. So he would be on the plane and be like sitting there, and you know, all the TV screens would pop up with this ad, and so he's like, I always wanted to stand up and be like, yep, that's me singing. So that was pretty funny. Again, like super cute. I really liked when he kind of told us about the songs and talked about it, especially that one. I like the image of just you being on the plane and being like, guys, that's me. I have no idea. Nope, that's me. And probably people didn't like know him at the time or what he looked like, but I don't know, it was pretty cool. So that song in particular, so this is the thing. I really liked the guitar to open, and I really liked the verses and the pre-chorus. Really, really loved the verses and the pre-chorus. Thought they were fantastic. The chorus was fine, but really loved the chorus, and really loved the verses and the pre-chorus. Then, oh boy. So apparently, according to what he said after the song, the next song was Wheels. So there was like a couple songs that I was listening to that I was like, oh gosh, I really hope he doesn't play this song. And when he took out that guitar and started playing it, I was like, this is definitely going to be one of those songs I don't care to listen to. Well, Wheels was definitely one of the songs. It had a long instrumental intro, which I wasn't a big fan of. The lyrics were just okay. Overall, just not a big fan. It had a really twangy feel to it, and it just, I don't know. But I've definitely heard it before, and it definitely was on like one of the albums that I was like, this whole album kind of just sounds like maybe pitchy, twangy might not be the right word, but it just, I wasn't a fan, and people really liked the song, and I was just like, so that was definitely the low for me for sure during this show. So then after that, he said he has 2 more songs, so he played the newest single, which will be his single off his new album, Bloom. I'm going to say Bloom Innocence. It sounded like maybe it could be Bloom Innocent, but I'm going to go with Innocence. And I've definitely heard it before I listened to it today, as a matter of fact, before I went to the show. And yeah, I immediately liked it better than Wheels, so I thought that was nice, that I was like, oh, okay, this is like a good follow-up to that, because I like it. But yeah, it was good. I mean, definitely like the music and the lyrics. It definitely had like a more intense volume in the middle of the song, which was pretty cool. So I liked that it again had that build up. So yeah, I mean, overall it was pretty good. And again, I mean, let's face it, guys, I only came for this one song. So knowing that you only have 2 songs left and you haven't played the song yet, I'm assuming you're playing that song. So while I did enjoy Bloom Innocence, all I was thinking was, I can't wait for the next song. So before he played the song, he talked about how he wasn't originally going to put it on the record because it felt like too cliche to him, or too like commercial or whatever. And then his manager was like, no bro, you gotta put it on. I need you to put it on because I need to get paid. So he put it on, and it changed his life because it's obviously his bigger hit. But again, it is kind of different from the rest of his stuff. And that's why when I first started listening to him on YouTube, I was like, or on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, I was kind of like, because the song is so different. So he also said the word, I hope you like this version that I'm going to play for you. And I was like, oh boy, this can go one of 2 ways. This can either be really awesome, or this can be really, really not awesome. And so I'm not going to lie, I am not a huge fan of acoustic songs. I tend to just like the original version. And so to have a whole set of acoustic songs that I actually enjoyed was a pretty big deal. And so I was really hopeful that I was going to like this version of Looking Too Closely. But I was also really scared because I already loved the original so much. And it just, listening to Listen Too Closely gives me the chills just on like digital platforms. So I was really, really looking forward to the song, and I couldn't wait to hear it. So I know you guys are like on the edge of your seat to hear whether it was good or bad. It was awesome, like just so fantastic. He definitely changed the music a lot, but there was still that underlying, you could still tell what part of the song was being played based on the music that he was playing at the time. So that was really great. I really appreciated the fact that he changed it, but kept it similar enough and the same enough with the same chords and the same notes that you were like, oh yeah, this is definitely Looking Too Closely. So fantastic. I mean, I just like love the lyrics, and I just, seeing him sing it live and seeing him play it live, and like his hand was like his knuckles were folded. Like I don't even know how he did it. It was just so great. And again, I mean, I went for that song, so the fact that it was fantastic and changed an acoustic, it was great. So I really, I'm so glad I went just for that song. And I got like, at least one song that totally took my breath away and gave me the chills, plus another song that really did that in quite a different way, at least a couple times. Plus the other songs were really great too. So we went off stage, and I honestly could have had him end the show there, but he came back on and played another song. So he talked about how the song was about Berlin, and how he really likes Berlin, even though it's kind of gritty and they have graffiti and stuff. And listen, I went to Berlin, I loved Berlin, but I wasn't a huge fan of the song. I did like the guitar to start, but I wasn't a huge fan of the lyrics. And it's funny because the thing I didn't really like about this song was the volume changes, and again it built up and then went lower, and then it built up and then went lower, which is odd because when that happened in the previous song, that was what I loved about that song. So I thought that was kind of interesting. As I was sitting there listening to it, I was like, why am I not enjoying this time, and why did I enjoy it so much the first time? That was really a prominent part of the song. And I mean, yeah, I don't know why. It was interesting. Maybe it was just the melody that really didn't strike me as something that was interesting. I don't know. It was just definitely an interesting moment, and I thought I really like this in another song, but then this song just didn't do it for me. So yeah, I really just wish he would have ended it after looking too closely, because let's face it, guys, it's so good. Yeah, so that is the show. I know that took a long time, and because I actually have to write it down because you're not supposed to use your phone, and I feel rude taking my phone out, so I can actually refer to my notes. Anyway, let's give it a score. So, I mean, definitely not my typical type of concert, especially considering it was an acoustic set, and I really only went for one song. But I'm definitely glad I went. I definitely loved some of the songs that I didn't necessarily think would grab me as much as they did. And I mean, again, that third song just totally blew me away. And then songs after that parts of them blew me away. So I was really impressed with that part of it. There were definitely some lows, some songs I didn't really like. Wheels in particular, I could have done without the last song for sure. And honestly, the thing I have most complained about this concert was the venue. The seats are so uncomfortable. They're so uncomfortable. If you're expecting somebody to sit there from 6 to almost 10 o'clock for 4 hours, you got to get comfier seats. And I know that the 6 o'clock thing is the dinner time, but you got to get comfier seats. So, that being said, I am not taking credit off at all for the venue. But that's definitely a problem with the venue. And you're like, oh, this is digging into me now. And now it's not comfortable, and I don't like the seat. So definitely can take away from a moment of oh my gosh, this song is so good. And then you're like, and my back hurts and it's digging in and it's not comfortable. So again, I'm not judging. Any song that happened to me for, I am just forgetting that part of it. But yeah, I don't know, this is hard because the things I loved about it, I really loved, and the things I didn't love about it were just so they weren't bad or anything. I mean, there was Wheels was probably my least favorite part. But to say it was bad, that's a stretch. So I don't know, it's do I give it a super high score just because it was great or good? But it wasn't I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's an interesting question. Gosh, I know I'm taking a long time to think. Sorry. I'm going to give this one a 9.0. I'm giving it a 9.0 because I really loved 3 of the songs. So fantastic. And getting to see Looking Too Closely was just so fantastic. Just so fantastic. There were definitely some lows, definitely some songs I could have done without. Wish he would have ended with Looking Too Closely. That would have just been fantastic. And we gave him a standing ovation after that song, and then when he came out, it was awkward because you're well, I just gave you a standing ovation, and so now it's so yeah, I don't know. I think a 9.0 is a fair one. There were definitely things I super loved. There were definitely things I didn't love. And again, it wasn't really a show that just had me engrossed from start to finish, but it definitely had me engrossed for moments where I was just totally blown away and couldn't take my ears or eyes off of what was going on the stage. But yeah, so I think 9.0 is a pretty fair score. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment. Were you there? Were you not there? Are you seeing him in a different city? So yeah, have you seen him before? Let me know.